This guy decides to quit his job and heads for New York City. This cowboy is running from himself, and she's been living on the higher shelf. Oh, when they come unstuck, later running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be left undone. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat because you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, I just gotta know if you're gonna stay. You just gotta know. 'Cause I can't have it any other way. Well, I swear she's destined for the screen, the closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, and they come unstuck, later running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be left undone. I love you when you're singing that song, and I get a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Weep for yourself, my man, you'll never be what is in your heart. Weep, little lion man, you're not as brave as you were at the start. Rate yourself and rake yourself and take all the courage you have left. Waste it all on fixing all the problems that you made in your own head. But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? Didn't I, my dear? Tremble for yourself, my man, you know that you've seen all of this before. Tremble, little lion man, you'll never settle any of your scores. Your grace is wasted and your face, your boldness stand alone among the wreck. So learn from your mother, or spend your days biting your own neck. And it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart.
On the line.
Nice, Kevin. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Not a Happy Hour with me, Christy, and Kevin.
Why is this not a happy hour? Why is this not a happy hour?
Well, because normally Happy Hour is actually a show where we, like, organize stuff and plan it. And this was like, hey, you want to do a video response?
We're watching a video.
Okay. All right, we're actually watching 2 videos.
That's stuff.
That is, yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah, well, that's more than sometimes we literally just turn up and go, we're going to talk about Donald Trump being a prick. Like, that's it.
That is sometimes our show prep. That is true. Okay.
I feel like this is actually very, very well structured by comparison to some of our shows. So,
well, that's, yeah, to be honest, I think maybe the show, just this episode, had an existential crisis.
Well, I did suggest calling it the Lime Green Dildo Cast.
You did. I vetoed that name. You can certainly call that on your channel, but it was actually.
Yeah, I wonder why one of our channels is monetized and one isn't.
It was all, by the way, that was all going to be one word, like a hashtag as well.
Yeah.
Lime Green Dildo Cast.
Well, exactly, because it wouldn't work. Otherwise, it's just what a cast on a lime green dildo. That wouldn't make any sense. One word. It's like broadcast. Lime green dildo cast.
So as long as we're calling back to our earlier episode, our earlier show with the lime green dildo cast being revealed to the world in the original one, you were paid to do on-air dancing off camera.
Yes.
And I mentioned that there was a preview, that I'd seen a preview when I was editing the last video, that the companion video I did with Cog. He showed me a preview of the one he premiered, and that there was going to be dancing in it, and you had to rate whether it was, what were the two? It was sexy and violence? Was that...
I don't know. Sexy and violence, obviously, is Elizabeth Warren's wheelhouse.
Yes,
so...
I think that was what the whole theme of it was, because of all of
And if you didn't see that video from before, that joke doesn't make any sense.
No.
But
Nor does the lime green dildo.
No, but I mean, episode. You don't... What context could there possibly be that would make that sensible?
Well, just picture Kevin grinding on a pole. That kind of will put you in the... That's the state of the conversation.
Okay, but what gender is the Polish person?
Whatever gender you like, man. There's no shaming here.
He's a pole. Grinding on a pole. There's a very strange guy. He hasn't contacted me in ages, but there's a very strange guy who was trying to convince me to fuck a Polish man.
What?
But he's saying all the time, just saying it's really exotic. You need to try some Polish cock. And I was like, well, are you Polish? Are you suggesting I fuck you? And he's like, no, I'm straight. I'm not even Polish.
But
what?
He was just recommending it?
Yeah, he was like, oh, it's really exotic. You should try some Polish dick.
Well,
I won't, but thanks.
I just say I don't get those DMs. I don't.
Oh no, you don't. Well, you don't, because you're like a nice person with, like, you know, gravitas. Whereas I'm literally a dick joke, a living dick joke. No, it's not. It's on some weird channel, by the way, Christy.
Okay, I'll go back to the link you gave me then, off camera. In our private.
We don't
messages.
have to do it off camera. There's nothing personal in there. I sent dick pics ages ago. You'd have to scroll up to get to that.
Freuds with the big bushy beards. All right, so I wanted to get your assessment of the dancing to compare to your pole dancing in your living room. Now everyone should go watch the entire video, I should say. But we're gonna have a little dance-a-thon. We'll have to put Dusty Smith's video against whatever you've got, Kevin.
I don't have anything, but. I mean, I have zero dance game, but that doesn't stop me.
Okay, are you ready for the dance game off the first round then? Because this might be a dance-off. All right.
What I want to see is two pasty white people dancing. Yes.
That's what we're going to get.
That's what the world needs.
Brings you the pastiest male dancers. All right.
What a USP.
It's a bit hard to see.
It's even whiter than I thought it was going to be.
Well, his walls are white and his shirt is white. That is true. There's a lot of white going along.
He's wearing braces.
Yes.
He's too skinny to wear braces.
What's the minimum weight on that?
I don't think it's a matter of weight, it's thickness. That's with two C's.
Oh, I see. THICC.
Whereas Cog, for all of his many, many qualities, thickness is not one of them. That's with two C's.
So I'm wondering, Kevin, where are your moves? The gauntlet has been thrown down now.
Well, they've been stolen by Cog.
Your gauntlet has been stolen, yes.
No, my moves.
Oh, is that what you're doing? This is what you did to the Elizabeth Warren.
There's a very K-Lo energy going on right now.
Okay, just so basically.
The other day, the Remainers were complaining that the Conservatives were apparently making.
Stop. So if we had Cog there, but if we just put on a big red beard and bushy red hair, then that would pretty much be you.
I don't have red hair. I have brown. I have normal hair. I just have a weird beard.
Okay. So a weird beard and a brown fro kind of wig. Okay. All right. I will buy those props for Cog. I want to see his version of that, and then I want to see your version of that.
I don't think the world's ready for my atomic moves. There's only so much sexiness the world could stand at any given time. You know what I'm saying?
Much too sexy.
Yeah.
Too sexy for your car, for
I dance around in my balls.
various inanimate objects. You're too sexy for them.
I am. Although I am now able to wear my shirt after a sexiness reduction surgery, so...
Happily. I'm sure now in the wintertime
I've got
you're
one
much
up on
more...
right said Fred.
Yes, you're much more comfortable in the wintertime now. That you're not too sexy for your shirt.
Exactly, yeah. It was a problem. The heating costs alone were exorbitant.
Exorbitant?
Exorbitant. Is that a word?
Yes, exorbitant. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Exorbitant? Exorbitant? No, there's no T. There's just the one T at the end. But tell us a little bit about your finding this video and why you thought we should watch it live.
Well, someone sent it to me saying he's gone mental.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, obviously, like that's his thing. That's literally the product he's selling.
Yeah. He's the Alex Jones of YouTube at this point.
Yeah, and literally, obviously, went on Alex Jones's show.
Yes.
Although he does, I love the fact that in this video he goes on about media bias, even though he literally went on Alex Jones. Okay.
Oh, but also he likes it. He has a different animal he's focused on. Not a
I was
not a
about to
frog.
say, can you smell horseshit, both literal and figurative?
Well, to me, it smells like fresh, warm horseshit as soon as we opened up the thing with Carl on in the screen. So.
No, exactly. I mean, you can't see it, but he's literally waist deep.
In warm, fresh horse manure.
In warm horse poo.
People are saying that he likes to pleasure himself with warm horse manure. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's have you heard all these people talking about it?
Yeah, like Rick Perry, I'm sure.
Everyone.
Rick Perry was to blame. He's the one who made people talk about it.
Did you see Rick Perry's article that he wrote? That he definitely wrote about this. Yeah.
Yes, it was Rick Perry who got that started. If you guys are watching the Trump impeachment debacle, you'll see he tried to throw Rick Perry under the call. Rick Perry now apparently made him call the Ukraine.
Yeah, well, not just that, but I mean, Rick Perry, obviously from Texas, so Carl certainly likes Longhorns.
Yeah, yes. And by the way, if you want to see the U.S. media actually look a little bit like having some of the courage that you occasionally see in the British media, go watch Chuck Todd grilling Ron Johnson. Embarrassment from my home state of Wisconsin. Unbelievable that lazy ass conspiracy Canadian is in the U.S. Senate. But Chuck Todd is having no more of this. He is not like, I'm going to both sides of this shit. He is like, we are in a constitutional crisis, and you're either with the Constitution or you're against it.
Yeah, he was really, really angry. But is Chuck Todd the most American name ever?
Might be.
Chuck Todd.
Sometimes people would call him Todd Chuck, I'm sure, for a lot of his life.
Yeah.
You can't tell those names apart. It just looks like two friends, Chuck and Todd.
Yeah, Chuck and Todd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right,
maybe that's why. Yeah, exactly. It's like Brangelina.
Yeah.
It's just two gay guys, Chuck and Todd.
Chuck Todd. Yep. Right. So
I'm shipping Chuck Todd. Definitely.
You've watched this, and you're saying Carl is gone off the deep end, or farther. He's swimming around in the deep end at this point.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, I like to point out his nonsense whenever it arises so blatantly, because there are 2 points. Firstly, he's going on about Soros funding the Remain campaign, which is like the people who want Britain to remain in the EU. But he also said that in the ridiculous live stream he did about Greta Thunberg, where he started going on about it being an ecological dictatorship or something. He said that she was being funded by George Soros.
Oh,
so he literally is that meme
God.
of everyone I don't like is George Soros.
Oh,
He's
Carl.
a joke.
He's really gone to the bottom of the barrel now.
Yeah, and this is in connection with the guy called Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's a multimillionaire that Carl wanted to be prime minister, even though he's a man of the people, which is a point he literally brings up later in the video. Jacob Rees-Mogg invoked, as you can see, George Soros.
Oh, sorry, guys. I have a technical error. I did not properly transition. How much of that?
Okay.
Sorry. Gosh, dang it. I hope you guys actually saw the dancing. My apologies. I might have just really screwed this up. So, sorry.
Okay,
Anyway.
Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
you
podcast.
heard us being hilarious about the dancing.
Yeah, so
And
now you'll
trust
have to
me,
go
if
watch
you
the
didn't
video.
see it, it was the whitest dancing that's ever existed. And I've seen me dance, so that's saying something. Yes. So anyway, Jacob Rees-Mogg brought up George Soros, typical far-right conspiracy fucking nonsense. And he claimed that he was for a start, he said he called them Ramonas.
Hold on, stop. Can you guys hold on, there's apparently, even though I transitioned, the thing is not going through. So let me just check the feed.
Okay, well, I can still explain as you do that.
Okay, so can you guys, in the chat, just confirm you're hearing us?
Okay.
Okay, now it's working. All right. Panic over. I did better when I was drunk.
Yes, yeah, it was fucking smooth when it was drunk. When you were drunk, this went fucking perfectly. There's a lesson in it for you kids. Alcoholism works.
Yeah. Or just always have the program view up. That way you don't get messed up with what's the studio mode and what's the actually going out the live feed. All right.
Yeah. So
we have Carl's ugly mug.
Yeah. Now. Anyway, so Jacob Rees-Mogg invoked George Soros, called people Ramonas, and said that he was the Ramona funder in chief, right? So he's literally saying that George Soros is funding all of this. Carl repeats, and then, without seeming to be aware of it, completely debunks in the same video.
Well, it is Sargon's law that Sargon will contradict himself or undermine his own argument within the same video.
Yeah. It's amazing. So, the claim is that he's the main funder of the Remain campaign, and he isn't.
Of course he wouldn't be. All right, let's hit play, and you can tell me how the sound sounds for you in the chat. If it's too loud or soft, give me some feedback. I will read and respond this time.
So in Parliament the other day, the Remainers were complaining that the Conservatives were apparently making loads of money off of Brexit.
That okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, excellent.
Yeah. By having a short run on the pound to devalue it so they can make money. This is ironic, given how George Soros is actually funding the Remain campaign, and he actually did this in 1992, which instantly dropped us out of the European exchange mechanism.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, George Soros literally did do that. That's the reason that George Soros is actually a piece of shit. Not because he's like, open borders taking over the world. It's because he's actually like a vulture capitalist piece of garbage. But, Carl, if you're saying it's bad that George Soros did that in 1992, surely you should be upset by the fact that the same people that are doing that now funded the leadership campaign of the current Prime Minister?
Okay, I'm lost. What happened in 1992?
There was a run on the pound.
Okay.
We joined a thing called the European Monetary Mechanism, or whatever the fuck it was called. It was an absolute disaster. There was a run on the pound, and George Soros did a thing called short selling, where it's essentially like a financial industry bet that the pound or the euro,
go down.
Whatever currency will go down. And George Soros made about £1 billion on that day when tens of thousands of people lost their jobs and the British economy was ruined for like a decade.
Okay, but that wasn't George Soros's fault. He was just playing this. It's kind of like don't hate the player, hate the game in this situation. There are critiques of the game, but he's sort of he's putting this on George Soros when Carl is pro-capitalism.
Well, this is the conspiracy theory nonsense that George Soros caused this, which he didn't. He profited from it, and he's a garbage piece of shit human being in many respects. But not in the way they think he is. So, but whatever. But like I say, it's bad that George Soros did it, but he seems fine that the Brexiteers are now doing it, which is ironic given that he's defending these multimillionaires that are now doing this, when he later claims that the multimillionaires are all for Remain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All Consistency is not his middle name.
No, I don't think he could spell it.
No.
All right, here we go.
And probably helped set the stage for Brexit, actually. But he wasn't exactly doing it for altruistic reasons. He was doing it so he could make $1 billion out of the pound, which he did. But obviously, just the mere mention of the name George Soros is enough to get the Remainer types, especially the Labour types, screeching that this is some anti-Semitic trope, as if George Soros isn't a billionaire who spends billions on Open Border Foundation.
So do the Koch brothers, or at least they used to.
Yeah.
Now there's just the one. But
Yeah, the Koch brother, the one that's alive.
Yeah,
for now.
And lots of other.
By the way, that's not a threat. I just realised that sounded like I was going to murder him. No, I just meant he's old. He's going to die soon.
No, yeah. It's just the one.
Oh, God. That was grim. Anyway.
But when you focus on George Soros, because, and you mention, and people associate him with his Jewishness, and you sticking on things that he doesn't belong in to discredit them. Anyway, yeah. Conspiracy theory.
Well, right. A couple of things. He is putting some money into a group called Britain for Remain, or whatever it's called, Back Britain, something like that.
Okay.
But he's really, really a minority stake, as Carl proves later on by reading a newspaper article, because he wouldn't actually do any research himself. Anyway, so it's not that he doesn't deserve to be mentioned in this. The point is, though, Carl tries to sell this as the mere mention of George Soros, but it wasn't the mere mention of him. It was him. It was Jacob Rees-Mogg saying that he was the Ramona funder in chief,
right,
which isn't remotely true. He's put in, I believe, somewhere in the region of about £800,000, and there are some that have put in millions and millions. So George Soros is a really tiny aspect of this. So when you big it up to him being the main dude, you're playing into that far-right conspiracy theory. And you are. It is anti-Semitic.
He's a shortcut for anti-Semitism, basically.
Yeah.
You drop his name.
Because you heard me earlier rightly criticising George Soros for an evil thing he did in the past. But I'm not saying he caused the necessary thing, right? I'm not saying he's the evil Jew monster that wants to take over the world. That's the difference between criticising somebody and being anti-Semitic about them.
Right. Yes. And they are raising his name to not bring the specter of critiques of capitalism to the discourse. Yeah. Got it.
Well, it's a point I will return to later in this video, but Carl backs the supposedly billionaire, although I'm sceptical given his lack of tax returns, of Donald Trump. He wanted Jacob Rees-Mogg, multimillionaire hedge fund manager, to be prime minister, and seems very happy that multimillionaire fucking Boris Johnson is prime minister. Mm-hmm. So he clearly doesn't mind people with money being in political power, even though he tries to sell himself as like man of the people.
Just when they give money to people he disagrees with. Yeah. Sorry about that. I had actually gone to hit play and then you started talking, so I was holding my finger on the play button and it slipped. That's what happened. So, all right, Carl's nonsense again.
Projects all around the world. Yes, he is. Like, it's not a secret by any stretch of the imagination, but Jacob Rees-Mogg invokes the George Soros trope and shows he is unfit to lead the House of Commons. It's not a trope. Like, that's not a trope. That's actually something he's doing.
In certain circles, especially. Right. He's he's a person in the news, but there's within white supremacist circles, they use his name in other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they say George Soros, in the same way when they say, like, banking interests or whatever, it's, that's a dog whistle. Everyone knows that's a dog whistle.
Right. Okay.
Doing. Like, this is what he spends his money on. The fact that he is Jewish is incidental to the fact that he's spending money on this. I don't care.
No, it's not. It's not incidental because you people constantly reference his Jewishness. That is a thing that happens.
Globalists, as Tony
and it doesn't help that Jacob Rees-Mogg is a fundamentalist Catholic as well. That doesn't help your case.
Okay, hitting play.
It doesn't matter what race or religion or whatever he is. What matters is that he is trying actively to undermine the national borders of every country on the planet.
What?
There you go, playing into far right shit again.
Wait,
because he's okay with immigrants. So apparently that means he's trying to undermine every border ever. Yeah. What the fuck?
The thing about EU...
Carl really has...
Oh, go ahead.
He's gone off the deep end, far right-wise, yeah.
Yeah, the thing about the EU that's really holding up this discussion is more the movement of goods than people. It's about the market and restraints on the market.
Yeah.
And so, being part of the EU actually reduces those restraints for Britain's economy. And so, yeah, I mean, him putting up there as he's trying to open up all the borders. The EU does not have open borders. It has free movement of people, but that's not open borders.
No.
And, yeah, Carl.
As if that isn't a concern. if the Independent had at any point had any pretense to impartiality, that's gone now. Jacob Rees-Mogg, who wears suits...
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's why you like being interviewed by Gay Frogs Man, because he's real. He's not biased in any way whatsoever, apart from he's got Donald Trump's tiny mushroom in his mouth constantly.
As does Carl.
Yeah.
Look,
I think they're doing a timeshare.
Who's trying to drown him? How's that relevant? That's just you trying to poison the well, isn't it? Look, Jacob Rees-Mogg's a bad guy. I mean, there are so many things about him that are bad. Look at his suits; they're terrible. Well, as someone with terrible suits, I don't care. I really don't give a damn. But he says
you really do have terrible suits, Carl. Yeah.
Also, he's trying to I'm both sides. I'll criticize Mogg, but I want him for leader.
Yeah. Not just that, but Carl, this is like an opinion piece, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he's giving an opinion on the man's sartorial decisions is fine.
Yeah, it's called
not
free speech.
A direct news story in the sense that they're saying, today in Parliament, a badly dressed man said a thing. No, it's an opinion piece. They're writing a narrative. They're setting a scene.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know what an opinion piece is because he came in with an advice column letter. Called it an opinion piece.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Oh, what a fucking absolute div. I mean, really.
Real div, yeah, perfect word.
Trying to turn out to be the least attractive adornment to the Johnson administration. He was foolish to invoke the name of George Soros in the current debate about people making money out of Brexit. It's said that some people associated with Boris Johnson and Brexit have a large financial vested interest in seeing no-deal Brexit succeed because it would crash the pound and they have an effect betted against it. That's hearsay. You have no proof.
It's not hearsay, Carl. There have been people who have been funders of Boris Johnson's campaign who have said openly that they've been potentially short. Their hedge funds have been short selling the pound, so they would have a financial vested interest. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's corrupt. Of course, it could just be that they're taking like an insurance bet on the basis that it might happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like there's a vested interest there.
Yep.
But they're not. They don't play into the right wing narrative, so they're going to completely ignore that.
People with money cover their butts.
When you give over the power of influence over public policy making to right wing scum like Carl, you're in for bad times. Nothing good can come from that.
Look at Trump.
Yeah.
Trade war
Someone
can't
said,
win.
I saw a meme today, and it was so perfect. Someone said it was like the horrible kids from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory grew up and started running the world.
Yeah.
And it's so true. These little pricks, they're so unfit for the offices they hold.
Quite.
Including Jacob Rees-Mogg, who should be sacked, but won't be because posh boys stick together.
Okay, hitting play.
That's the case. And I'm not saying they're not. Maybe they are. Maybe that's what they're expecting. Maybe they're just sat there counting their money like Scrooge McDuck. I don't know that they're not. But I do know that you've prevented...
By the way, give to my subscribe star because I got kicked off of Patreon, and here's my PayPal underneath. Counting his money like Scrooge McDuck. Really, Carl? You're going to judge these people? You, the capitalist? The liberalist?
Well, it's the thing, When he starts later on, he starts going on about the bank is this, the bank is that. You are a capitalist, Carl. You are. Not just that. You don't think that we are capitalist. You've done the libertarian thing of saying, well, there are restrictions on the free market, therefore it's not real capitalism. Shit. So when millionaires are doing evil things, you have to shut up. You licked that boot long ago. You have no right to start throwing it around at other people now.
#facts. Okay, let's hear some more hypocrisy.
Presented no information here, no actual evidence, nothing that we can pin to the wall and say that's a true thing that we can demonstrate.
Yeah, because Carl that's what he trades in, is facts, demonstrable facts, true things that he can demonstrate. No, facts. Never. Feels.
Yeah.
All his feels.
Do you need facts when you can read a headline? would be my riposte to that, Christo. Why are you such an intellectual snob relying on fucking evidence and shit? Just read a headline and react to it like a 7-year-old would.
He just never reads. I know. The fact that he even got the author of the report wrong in the video when he put it up on screen. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Hitting play.
The argument isn't even he's right or wrong. Here's a rumor that I'm going to conjure up, and that he is foolish to have invoked Soros' name. As in, this is a tactical error that Jacob Rees-Mogg has made. Not really. Jacob Rees-Mogg has just said...
Whoa. She didn't... didn't say it was a tactical error. They said it was like a moral.
Mm.
It was an immoral, disgusting thing to say. At no point did they invoke any kind of Machiavellian, oh, well, it's a tactical error.
Yeah, didn't it say unfit in the headline?
Yeah.
And he read that,
unfit.
we think.
Not, he will lose support because of this. Unfit, as in, is not fit for the office. Mm-hmm. That's a moral judgment.
But, Kevin, you're expecting Sargon, you're expecting Carl to keep, like, a single train of thought in his mind for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, what is
the
question?
Well, it's the fumes. It's the fumes from the dung heap.
Yes, the manure
it's getting
stench.
to him. They're calling to him. That's what it is.
Makes him a little bit lightheaded.
It's like, you know, those old classic cartoons with the pie calling on the shelf, and the kind of the smell lines go to the person's nose and they drift towards the pie.
That's
what it's like when he goes past the stables.
That's what people are saying.
That's what I've heard. That's what I heard Rick Perry saying.
Lots of people saying, yes.
Yeah.
Is demonstrably true. Gina Miller is the person who got this to go through the High Courts and got Parliament unprorogued and restored. Whether justified or not, I'm not going to go into it again because we've discussed it enough.
Was he for the proroguing of Parliament?
Yes, he was, yeah.
What?
Because he's
such a liberalist.
Because he doesn't care about democracy. Even though he's going to claim later that these people are against democracy, he doesn't want Parliament to sit to scrutinise the government.
Oh, can we say a bit of good news that came out of the unproroguing of Parliament? Jess Phillips' domestic violence bill got through, didn't it?
It did indeed, yes. Yeah, which is awesome. It beefs up the sentences for domestic violence and introduces the standalone crime of psychological abuse, because previously psychological abuse had to be aligned with some sort of physical or sexual abuse as well to be considered, whereas now on its own psychological control and financial manipulation can be used as
evidence of
standalone crimes.
Excellent.
So that more people will now be protected by the law. So that's fucking awesome.
That is.
But Carl wouldn't care about that because Carl's the kind of garbage who supports Christopher Chope and his efforts to stop the upskirting bill because he's garbage.
Yeah, he would rather just shut down Parliament and have all of those victims have to wait years again to go through the process, because it was like a 2-year process to get to this point.
It was.
Yep.
Yeah. So he and this is the thing. I've said this for a long time. The Brexiteers, the hardcore people like Carl, just want Brexit at any cost.
Yep.
If it fucking ruins the country, if it destroys democracy, if it cripples the economy of the nation and puts millions on the dole, doesn't care.
Just gets what he wants. Yeah, Brexit at any cost.
Which is why, I mean, like, nothing about this whole process is satisfactory as far as I'm concerned. But if Brexit doesn't happen, I will be more than happy just to drink Carl's tears. That will be enough for me.
Yeah, just go to watch the live stream with popcorn when he goes on to complain when you're still in the EU. That I would watch that. I would live stream.
That would be amazing, yeah.
Yeah, we would have to watch that live.
Well, we'd have to do a line-by-line reaction thing to it. Definitely. That will be the longest happy hour ever. I promise you.
Well, it wouldn't not a stream snipe so much as a live viewing of it. You know, like a sort of an MST3K kind of thing. Twitter, but on YouTube. All right. Anyway, let's hear what nonsense this anti-democrat has to spout now.
But she's continuing vowed to continue her fight for democracy by undermining democracy in this country. Gina Miller being a financier, an investor, if I recall correctly, not exactly a woman of the people.
Unlike Jacob Rees-Mogg, apparently, who literally runs a hedge fund, which, by the way, interestingly, moved to Dublin, so it remains in the EU after Brexit because he wants all the benefits whilst fucking everyone else over.
Yeah.
So, which are financiers good or bad, Carl? Pick a side, mate.
Yeah, the Dyson guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, those financiers. And the thing is that, what was it? 26% of the British population actually voted for to leave the EU, not hard Brexit, crash out of the EU, or leave the EU without any kind of a deal or at any cost. No.
Yeah.
26% of the people didn't vote for that. So when you look at the whole population, yes, they won of the people who voted, but you can't claim that they're ending democracy because a lot of people didn't vote. And if you gave that second vote, maybe they'd have an opinion this time. Maybe they didn't know what to vote.
Especially, it seems like every claim made was a lie.
Yep.
But other than that, yeah. And of course, Gina Miller isn't trying to stop democracy. She literally voted to allow Parliament to do its thing twice. That's literally all she's done. She's aided democracy enormously.
Is she a British citizen?
Yes.
Then she has standing in the courts about what her Parliament does. That's it. It doesn't matter what she could be unemployed. It would literally make no difference to her citizenship.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
The basis of her claim, because Parliament is meant to represent the people.
Like, clearly she's anti-Brexit in her personal opinion, but the two court cases she's brought out have allowed greater parliamentary scrutiny of the government, which, as a libertarian, Carl, I thought you would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Not having an unelected bureaucratic layer being unmolested.
Or a minority government with a leader who doesn't have a mandate from an election.
Yeah. But again, it's democracy be damned, Brexit at all costs.
Yeah.
That's all these fucking scumbags want.
By the way, Mithra...
And again, it's not for any good purpose. Nothing good can come of this for the country. It's literally just sticking two fingers up at Johnny Foreigner. That's all this is.
Mm-hmm. And sticking yourself in your own eyes while you're giving him the two fingers. Because you go too far because you're drunk.
Exactly. It's cutting off your nose and your face to spite your nose and your face.
We want a unicorn. Well, you can't have a unicorn. Here's a pony. Yeah. We veto your pony.
Exactly.
And you have nothing. Well, then we veto your nothing.
The thing in the week that made me want to fucking scream was when Boris Johnson stood up in Parliament and said, he's got this new fucking deal which isn't really meant to, these new proposals which aren't really meant to get anywhere. They're just a time-wasting exercise so we can blame the EU. Anyway, the point being that he stood up in Parliament and said, we've given ground on this and that, we've compromised, blah, 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 to try and reconcile the seemingly irreconcilable. And I wanted to scream, yes, we told you this. We told you these things were irreconcilable. And you said, no, it'll be nice and easy. We told you this was going to fucking happen, you moron.
Yep. But now it's, the politicians didn't do it right. So it's not the fault of the people who want to leave. It's the fault of the politicians who didn't do it properly, because it's never their fault.
No.
And then this is the thing, Trump will commit a crime and then claim he's innocent and get a whole bunch of people who helped him commit the crime also say they're all innocent. And then, if you put the shoe on the other foot, they would be screaming about the Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a great analogy someone made on the social medias about, he went onto the White House lawn and stuff. Instead of saying, no, I didn't try and influence anything, he then asked China to actually get involved, like redoubling down on the crime. Someone said the analogy was, it's as if a man's trying to prove he didn't cheat on his wife by bringing home the woman he cheated with and another woman and fucking them both in front of you.
I did nothing wrong. Our relationship is perfect.
Exactly. It was a perfect relationship. Well, I want to know what the metaphysics of a perfect conversation are.
Trump asks
how would you judge perfection of a conversation? Like a good conversation, but perfection.
Yeah, Trump and his superlatives.
Like an odd concept, really, to me, but okay.
Yeah, his superlatives. You always know he's lying by how vague or terrific everything is, or the worst thing ever.
Yeah, people are saying I'm the best president ever. Yeah.
Yeah, sure they are. Okay, let's hear from the best YouTuber ever. Yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that she's obviously making money out of this. Doesn't matter.
How is she making money out of this?
Yeah. Interesting that you accused someone else of not providing evidence. Where's your evidence that Gina Miller is making money out of this?
Yeah, where are the facts?
The increased security costs she's having to pay because of death threats from scumbags that like you, Carl, that suggests she might actually be losing money on this.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, so baseless accusations are fine when it's Carl. Again, contradicting himself within his own video.
Yeah.
That she's making money opposing the democracy of our country, and
She's not
hiding
opposing the democracy, you fucking propagandist hack. She's literally twice gone to court to allow Parliament to do its job in the face of an overweening and under-scrutinised executive.
Yep. And it was an 11-0 decision, right?
Yeah.
So, if you can't respect your democratic institutions, then you are the one who is anti-democratic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind the veil of fighting for democracy. What she's saying doesn't even make sense.
Of course it doesn't, because Carl hasn't thought it through.
No.
If it wasn't in law...
all it is Brexit good, everything else bad.
Yeah.
That's the only rationale Carl can think anything through. It's the only prism he sees everything through. So the fact that someone else is like, well, actually, maybe we need to have more discussion in Parliament about this. No, Brexit good, everything else bad. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. It's like saying to a dog, well, maybe walkies aren't always a good idea. No, walkies. Walkies is always good.
But there's a tornado. Walkies now.
Exactly. Yeah, look, I'm literally biting my lead here. Come on, let's go.
Let's go out in the funnel. It'll be fun. Okay, hitting play.
As I say, 3 of the most senior judges in England and Wales dismissed her claim on the basis that it was political, not legal, but it didn't matter to the High Court because they want
Hang on,
to...
No. Hang on, whoa, Carl. The government's argument was literally that it wasn't political. The government's own argument was this wasn't political. This decision, sorry. It's a political thing that you shouldn't be able to rule on, but that the actual prorogation wasn't a political act. That this was purely just a pragmatic thing.
Also,
and Carl, you say 3 of the most senior, blah blah blah. Yeah, but 11, the most prominent, the most high-ranking judges, all 11 of them, decided against you. So why do you agree with the 3 that are less prestigious, but not the 11 that are more prestigious? You hack.
Yeah, I don't know how things, the Supreme Court's kind of a new thing for you guys in terms of its role. But, with the Supreme Court in the United States, it doesn't matter what the district courts find because whatever the Supreme Court says is precedent. That is the final say.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We did have a thing before called the Law Lords, which was basically provided the same function. But it's just more formalised and better now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the basic point stands. Unless there are human rights involved, in which case you can go to the European Court of Human Rights, which obviously this wouldn't have been, then anything that court decides is final. There's no appeal.
Right. That is precedent. Yeah. 11-0.
Yeah, and there's no doubt this was a refining of our understanding of the Constitution, because the British Constitution is unwritten. It's a patchwork of different laws from hundreds of years, right? So it's less formalised. So there's always constant development. There's constant refining in terms of our understanding of this, partly because no government has ever tried that kind of bullshit before. So there had to be a hard edge set against that kind of bloated, horrifically authoritarian executive action.
Yeah. By the way,
had to be.
Occasionally your audio drops a little bit. So if you have any other programs or anything running in the background that you can free up your processing. It might be your upload speed, I don't know, but just to let you know.
Well, no, I've just got Skype open. I haven't even got YouTube open because I can see the YouTube thing there, and I can see everyone in the chat.
Excellent.
I mean, I don't want to because, I mean, the plebs are kind of icky, really.
Yeah,
but,
well, you're deigning to actually address them, so I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
Yes, penis.
There you go. Your lord and master has come out on the
I blessed you with
balcony,
my penis.
And he's throwing a penis out to the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, our show is
green
weird.
dildo. When you get a lime green dildo, everybody gets a lime green dildo.
That's what Liz said. Okay.
Indeed.
All right.
Well, she was disappointed. She was saying this is vanilla bullshit. I want some weird toys.
I want to say that I watched Dusty Smith, his watching of he read out the letter. He didn't watch the press conference like we did. He read it out first. But when he went through and it was like the hibachi massager, and he reached over and he grabbed like a vibrator and said, "A hibachi, that looks like this. That's not a sex toy. What are you bringing this lame stuff to Elizabeth Warren?"
Hang on, he just happened to have a vibrator on hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hats off to
Fair
Dusty. He's got one in every room, perhaps. I don't know how he rolls, but he had one for that. Maybe he knew about it beforehand and brought it as a prop, but I have a feeling he's freaky, so he probably just has one in every room.
Oh yeah. Everyone's got a prop dildo naturally.
Although we're going to be painting them all lime green now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not sure paint is a good idea in case it chips off inside.
Well, you wouldn't use it
You don't
after,
want
would
that.
you?
So it's just a prop. It's just a showpiece. It's a conversation piece.
Well, in this
you put it in
case,
the center
yes.
of the table at dinner party.
But he did decide to
It will-
live fact check whether or not you can get Cat o' Nine Tails on Amazon.com, and you can. But then he's
that
looking
doesn't
at
surprise me.
No, but then he's looking and goes, "What is this sort of like cheap ass shit? No, do they have some better ones?" He's scrolling like the ones that are more than $26. Looking for a better brand. So that was
I
a
remember
lot of fun.
during our previous time. You may remember this, you may not. A certain one of our former interlocutors, let's say, and I had to look up a certain dildo.
Oh yes, yes.
And then I had to link that dildo underneath to prove that they were using a dildo. That was weird. I thought, I wonder if I'll ever have to put a link to a dildo under a video again. And I haven't as of yet, although, I don't know. Yes, the other day would have been like the closest, I suppose, maybe. I don't know.
Well, maybe if you mirror that show or this show and you call it #Lime Green Dildo Cast, you can Google for lime green dildos and then put the link in that.
I don't know. That feels like that advertising. Look, if I'm happy to be a paid stooge of big lime green dildo.
Right.
If the big lime green dildo oligarchs want to pay me to shill their products, I will.
Got it. By the way, also Tony was saying it's Hitachi, not hibachi, because hibachis are grills. They're like.
Oh, I mean, I know they were going on about her liking violence stuff, but burning flesh—that's a bit much, surely.
Probably not the flamethrower.
Even for violent Liz.
So yeah, Hitachi.
Yeah.
All right. So with that correction also in the record, formally now. Get back to Carl. Sorry, this is a much more interesting and entertaining conversation than Carl, but we're going to hit play anyway.
Political. Not exactly within the keeping of the tradition of the laws and the legal system of this country, but don't worry. This is all to be burned, isn't it, really?
What, the court having
Well, you're the one literally
decision.
trying to burn it, you twat. But no, actually, it is perfectly within keeping of the law.
When was Parliament ever prorogued against its will, except 400 years ago?
Well, in terms of the length of the prorogation, nothing like that for like 300 years.
But
prorogation itself isn't unheard of. Most Queen's speeches, there's a short prorogation,
but it's
often of less than a week, sometimes less than 3 days.
But it's done by unanimous consent. It's not done...
And it's not 5 fucking weeks. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not during the most important debate that the nation has faced in a generation. Yeah.
And as we've seen, there were important things that Parliament could and should have been doing, and thankfully did get the chance to do because of people like Gina Miller, like passed the Domestic Violence Act.
So what Carl is saying is he doesn't want to accept the democratic outcomes when they don't uphold what he wants, which is not...
Basically.
So you're not
which
actually
is very
a citizen.
undemocratic.
Yeah. You lost. Get over it.
Oh, hurts, doesn't it, Carl? Hurts.
Let's be honest, as long as the Remainers get their way, any of it can be set on fire. None of that matters. So who's financing this? It's
the Trump thing, isn't it? Of accusing people of what you are guilty of.
Yeah.
Of him literally saying his whole thing, the Remainers' whole thing, and his whole thing is basically it doesn't matter what damage this does, we have to have Brexit now. That's it. But yeah, he's accusing everyone else of that, but in the opposite way. Like, fuck you, man. You hypocritical sack of dog shit.
Well, you mean horse manure.
No, I don't. Because he likes horse manure. So that would be like a compliment for him, maybe.
Got it.
Not her, although she probably could if she chose to. Although, let's be honest, it's probably costing millions and millions of pounds to do, so maybe even she can't afford it. But I'll go to noted far-right conspiracy anti-Semitic website, the BBC, to find out who is funding Best for Britain. Let's have a look.
But note this, right? The title says George Soros is funding the Remain campaign.
Yeah.
Not George Soros is funding one group called Best for Britain, which makes up a tiny sliver of the overall Remain campaign.
This is a point well taken. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's literally making shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Is the point.
4 clicks.
Yeah.
The clickbait video.
Indeed.
Propagandist one as well. Okay.
Where does the money come from? That's a weird picture of George Soros. I wonder why that's just sat there. What an anti-Semitic trope that is.
Now again, Carl, pointing out that George Soros is putting money into a thing is not anti-Semitic. Claiming he's the funding chief for this, as you and Jacob Rees-Mogg have done, playing into that far-right conspiracy theory when it isn't fucking true, is anti-Semitic.
And also, what is up with this just sort of shouting things into a camera, into a mic, as like, is that supposed to be something other than you being a child? I don't.
Apparently.
Is that not
It certainly
content?
seems to think so. Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, it beats actually, putting in any effort.
Actually, reading the paragraph.
It's the Amazing Atheist playbook to a T. Just shouting to a camera.
Yes.
It's in lieu of actually having, a personality or being able to communicate properly.
Yeah. Just be angry and outraged and victimized all the time. All right.
He is the vulnerable minority.
He is a vulnerable minority, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right.
The biggest individual donor is international financier George Soros. Anti-Semitism! Who's given Best for Britain £800,000 in total so far.
He's given less than $1 million.
Yeah.
He's.
But look at follow, right. Like you say, given less than $1 million.
Yeah.
Listen to the extrapolation Carl uses.
For
Right?
£800,000.
For 800,000, right? So that's from 2015 to 2018. He gave £800,000. Look at the number Carl thinks he might have gotten to by now.
Okay. So I just want to point out for people who don't come from Britain, 800,000. Like you could buy 2 nice houses, maybe even 2.5 nice houses with that. But like it's
one in London,
or one in London, yes,
Yeah.
or one in London. So that's the kind of level of ownership or donations we're talking about. Not a small amount, but considering he's a billionaire, is he? I don't know what he is.
Yeah. Oh, well, multi-billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah. He probably makes that by the time he brushes his teeth in the morning.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And as Carl points out later, that is a drop in the bucket by comparison to some.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Let's see how he spins this out.
And that was in 2018. Who knows how much more he's given them? It's doubtless going to be over millions at this point.
Over millions.
Over millions.
Over a million. What, so billions?
At least 2.
Or you're just not very good at English. Yeah. £800,000 over the course of 3 years, sorry.
Yeah. It's
but
going
in
to
that
turn
1
into
year since then, apparently it's now millions. Even though that's literally, you're literally saying, I don't know that, I'm just making it up. That's nonsense, Carl.
No,
You've literally no evidence for that, you fucking hack.
But it's over millions, Kevin.
It's over millions, billions. It might even be trillions.
Over millions. Oh my god. And he thinks he speaks English. Oh, he is not a specimen of...
He speaks English good.
Yeah,
I'll speak English.
Should not hold himself up as a specimen of the master race by any stretch of the imagination. Over millions. Oh, that's a great number.
But I mean,
exactly.
I suppose
Yeah.
shows that the BBC are just a conspiratorial nonsense website that The Independent certainly won't accept. So why don't we check The Independent and find out, see what they have to say about it. Oh, what's this? Mogg is facing calls to be sacked after Soros. The Soros remark is straight from the far right's anti-Semitic playbook.
Again, those are facts because that's what they do. You being outraged by it doesn't make it untrue.
Yeah.
Hey, did you
That-
like my
we
little
don't care
hip hop
about your-
rhyme there?
We don't care about your moral outrage, Carl.
No, we don't.
No.
Those were,
Especially when it's utter bollocks as well. That doesn't help you.
my bars were flowing.
You always are, Christo.
All right. Yeah,
You've
so
got rhymes like phosphorus.
Mogg uses a dog whistle and people point it out, and Carl is outraged. Got
Yeah.
it. Yes, because you can never apologize or acknowledge any fault. You always have to defend. That's the authoritarian, playbook that Bannon
And the
works
child's
from.
playbook.
Yes.
Weird. The BBC, I suppose, the far-right BBC, their playbook of framing George Soros to be the funder of Best for Britain,
But he's not the funder of Best for Britain. He made a donation. And what were the other
You made
donations?
a donation. Yeah, and they're one organisation, which isn't the Remain campaign. When you and Jacob Rees-Mogg say that the Remain campaign is being funded by Soros, when that's clearly not true, you're a liar. And you're playing into a far-right anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
I'm trying to find the article he's looking at. What was the one from the BBC? Who funds? What's it called? Who funds?
Hang on, scroll down to the third one there.
Yeah, who are anti-Brexit?
Who are anti-Brexit group?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what the other donations were. He might get to it. I kind of doubt it.
Hang on, whoa, scroll back up. Sorry, I saw something about millions released its camp. Hang on. Whoa. Best for Britain has 2.4 million in its coffers and is asking donors for a further 3.2 to realise its camera. So, not even a majority.
No.
Of one group,
Not
which
even
is a
half.
minority of the whole movement.
Yes.
That's the point we're making, Carl. The claim that Jacob Rees-Mogg made and that you have made is a lie.
Yeah. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They lie. All right, let me see if they break it down a bit more. Because I thought... right. Okay. All right, who else gave money? We got Best for Britain is keen to stress that it has also raised significant sums from more than 8,000 small donors.
Yeah.
8,000 small donors. Yeah, so let's see. What does it say? Oh, it's good under investigation for paperwork stuff. All right, yeah, so they have 8,000 people who are doing like £10,
But they've
£20.
got 2.4 million in the coffers,
Yep.
and that's what they've got in the coffers after what they've spent so far, and he's only given 800,000.
Yep.
That's not even a majority of that one group, which,
Nope.
like I say, isn't the movement. It's one tiny group.
So they're lying. Why you always
Yeah, it's a lie.
lying? Why?
And it does play into the conspiracy theory,
Yep.
which is in itself anti-Semitic.
And that's why he's being criticized. Because
Yeah.
he's over-exaggerating a known figure who is like sort of a lightning rod within the far-right community.
Yep.
Group that is actively trying to stop Brexit, as if this isn't really happening. Incredible. Mogg became embroiled in a row over dog whistle comments he made about Hungarian businessman George Soros, who described as the Ramona funder-in-chief. That's not a dog whistle!
God.
Yes, it is. Because he's not the funder-in-chief at all.
Nope.
As you later prove, you fucking idiot.
Well, he already proved it by citing the £800,000.
Yeah. No, but he goes even further. He shows some of the other people, some of whom have
Oh.
given millions to various groups.
Great. Oh, good. He's going to actually undermine it.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
this
literally
is
makes
yummy.
the point and then disproves the point. Yeah.
Carl, you
Amazing.
idiot. Do your research before you go on air. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be yummy. Oh, why didn't I make popcorn? Okay. Hitting play.
Well, this wasn't a live broadcast. This was like, I mean, obviously it's not edited or anything like that, but it's like he would have had to put it together before he put it out. So he could have gone, oh, actually, no, the thing I just said there completely undermines my entire point. I won't put this video out. I would sound like an idiot. But no, he just went with it.
No, Carl's not worried about looking like an idiot, as we know.
Demonstrable fact. But Mr. Soros, a Jewish billionaire, has donated money to the Best of Britain campaign. We know.
That's not funding the Remain campaign, as you point out. It's funding a group that supports Remain.
No one's denying, including George Soros, that he's given money to anti-Brexit thing, which is fine. Like, you can do that. Yeah, but the point being, Carl, is that he's not the funder-in-chief at all.
The Remain campaign ended the day of the referendum. Like, it's done now.
Well, the official one. But clearly there are campaigning groups that are
but
still
this is
trying
it.
To make it
happen. But they're individual groups who are aligned. But it's not like until you have another referendum, they won't have a formal Remain campaign. You have individual groups that are advocating for Remain. I think that those are different things.
And of course, the fact that he doesn't seem to want to point out that people like Aaron Banks, the phenomenally corrupt piece of garbage who was involved in Cambridge Analytica and all of that jazz, spent £8 million on the Brexit campaign.
No, he won't.
That's fine, apparently.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Hitting play.
No! Millions by now, probably, at least.
Yeah, what was about facts, Carl? What was it just about hearsay? You have no evidence whatsoever to support it? Guy? But now you're saying it's probably millions?
Just for everyone in the... So I just want to point out, for the person asking in the chat, didn't the article say 400 grand? No, it said it was 400 grand from the open EU fund, or whatever it's called, and then 400,000 was a personal donation. So together, £800,000 of his money went into the thing. Just to clarify.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. You know, we're a nerd show. We're all about the technical.
Indeed. Well, clarifications are always important because, unlike Carl, we actually care about what is real.
Yes, not our egos, but what's right. And we know we mess up. Hibachi. Okay.
At least 800,000. Like, why would you publish an article in which you say, oh, this is dog whistle politics? I mean, admittedly, he is funding it, but it's still dog whistle politics, as if your readers...
Because it's a small donation to the overall fucking thing. That's the funder-in-chief.
And he's being elevated
lied, as indeed
the face
you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's being elevated as the face of it because he is a lightning rod to racists and far-right types.
Yeah.
So, trying to cast shade on Remain.
Are morons. Critics say the decision to single him out was a perpetuation of a common anti-Semitic trope. No, it's because he's giving the money.
He's acting like these things are mutually exclusive.
A drop in the bucket. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why didn't he say that any number of the other people who have given more money to these kinds of groups? Why did he single out George Soros?
Yep. Because
lie about him.
Yeah, and lie about him. Because he is mentioned in the right-wing circles as, it's a dog whistle.
And, of course, a smaller point, but calling people Ramonas as well when you're supposed to be in a position of authority, and there's been a lot of talk about calming the situation down in the country, that's really irresponsible. Mr. Rees-Mogg. Mm-hmm. Just saying, mate.
Yeah, but in this case, what Carl's trying to deny, there is a Soros trope. We've all seen.
Of course there is. And he knows there is. He's such a liar. God damn.
So isn't there a version of him as Pepe?
Probably. There's a version of everyone as Pepe, isn't there?
Yeah.
My left testicle has a version of Pepe.
Why bring up Soros, of all the people, as you say, to fund? Why bring up him?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's giving them millions.
No, liar.
No, that's a lie. Okay, because you have no evidence that he's given millions. All you know, from one article, by the way, you haven't even properly researched that. The BBC could be totally wrong. But we'll just go with what the BBC said, seems like you have. 800,000 over 3 years. So how is it millions now, 1 year later?
Yes.
This
He's
is the
just
thing.
making
This
it
is
up.
the delusional madness of it. He genuinely thinks that, well, I've made up this lie now
Yeah, so
about
it's
it
true.
being millions, so it's a fact now.
Mhm.
In his head, that's a fact.
Yeah.
No
And he'll
further
just say that.
investigation needed. It's definitely millions.
And even if it was 1.2 million, that wouldn't be millions. It would have to be at least 2 million. And I think their goal was like 3 point something anyway. So
Yeah. No, but we know it's over millions, so it's fine. It's
over.
definitely,
Yeah.
more than millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should talk closer to your mic.
It's over millions.
Thank you. All right. Hitting play.
Like, how can you argue with this kind of doublethink?
Carl, you're so lacking in self-awareness. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, is he talking into a mirror?
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, he must be.
He wants to go on about doublethink? Really? Okay.
They literally say, oh, Labour peer Alf Dubs, though, who escaped the Nazis on the Kinder Transport. Well, now we're talking about Nazis.
Yes, because it's an anti-Semitic trope.
Yeah, and Alf Dobbs, he's a real poser lord. He was a former Labour MP back for years and years from London. Did escape the Nazis in the Kinder Transport. So has had a lifelong interest in trying to stop the far right. That's the point that's getting made there, Carl. So yeah, the Nazis are being referenced there because it's a Nazi trope.
He's just
which
acting,
you know.
Of course. Faked incredulity.
Yeah.
We're talking about an open borders activist who is actively funding the campaign against democracy in this country, but now it's
No, he isn't actively
No.
funding any such thing.
People who disagree with you aren't attacking democracy. They're exercising their free speech, which you say you're against, except when it comes to people you politically disagree with, apparently.
Yeah. But that's the thing, again. In the head of the extremists, the Brextremists, as I think we should call them, democracy and Brexit are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that can be done. Unless we get an absolute hard no-deal Brexit, then we have no democracy, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, the radicals have, pretty much taken over the Conservative Party and also are part of the Brexit Party, basically.
Yeah.
They're not conservatives, they're radicals. They're actually trying to transform how Britain is governed.
Yeah, well, they want to make us into a tax haven, basically.
Well, and
With
also...
with no government spending.
And also an autocracy with a prime minister who gets to rule by fiat.
Yep. But apparently they're defending democracy and bringing control back to Parliament somehow.
By shutting
By
it down.
shutting Parliament down.
Yes. That's for democracy. Wait. Doesn't democracy mean demos? People? Wait. All right. Hitting play.
Straight from the far right's anti-Semitic playbook. What the hell are you talking about?
How can he pretend to be... I mean, nobody in his audience believes he doesn't know this, right? They're all just going along with the bit.
This is total bullshit, yeah. Of course he's a fucking... Of course he knows what they're talking about. You can say, and I don't think that Jacob Rees-Mogg is like a Nazi, but he's happy to play into those tropes on the right, on the hard right, because he's garbage. But the point being is that you can say, okay, he didn't necessarily mean it in the way that Nazis mean it, but I know that Nazis use it. That would be understandable. That would be like a perfectly acceptable, believable point of view. Saying, what are you talking about, when you clearly know what they're talking about, is a just dishonest, intellectually vapid tactic, Carl. That's disgusting.
It's basically winking at the BNP.
Yeah, which shouldn't be surprising, considering Carl is friends with Tommy Robinson, who literally gave a speech in Germany saying that Germany for too long has lived in the shame of Hitler. As if one shouldn't be ashamed of Hitler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Here we go with the right-wing reactionary, anti-democratic radical at the same time.
Jacob Rees-Mogg is not far right. This is not an anti-Semitic comment, and it's certainly not anti-Semitic to point out where George Soros' money goes. So why are you bringing this up, if not to do what you usually do in these regards and just obfuscate? This is just...
Oh, this will be entertaining.
Do you think he's got word of the day toilet paper?
He might have just wiped his ass with obfuscate. It just
Obfuscate. Oh, that's good. I'll use that. I'm feeling very obfuscate right now. Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's hear how they're obfuscating. This should be entertaining.
A way of saying, well, you caught us, but actually you hate the Jews. It's like, okay, Labour peer.
Caught
let's not
who? Hang on, caught
What?
who? Hang on, what do you mean that you caught us? Caught who doing what?
Exactly.
George Soros is open about where his money goes. No one's been caught doing anything. Apart from the Brexit campaign, using illegal information from Cambridge Analytica. But apart from that,
Okay, I'm going to keep listening. Maybe the obfuscation will arrive, but at the moment, I don't know who is supposed to be obfuscating about what. Do you?
Yeah.
Labour is it the
shit.
media? Is it the left who are obfuscating? It's so very confusing.
It's the media, the left, and George Soros working in conjunction with the gay frogs.
Sorry, I'm going to have to go back 7 seconds or so because I have to hear this in full. Maybe there's a point.
Just obfuscate. This is just a way of saying, well, you caught us, but actually you hate the Jews. It's like, okay, Labour peer. Let's not talk about other people hating the Jews.
Oh, so he's going. Oh, right. So I love that. Carl's such a fucking garbage bag, such a propagandist that he's going to the lamestream media can't be trusted on anything except when it comes to anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. Then it's all totally believable.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying there aren't anti-Semites who go far too far and aren't just criticising the actions of the Israeli government, which I think is a perfectly appropriate thing to do, by the way. But they maybe overstep the mark and are a bit anti-Semitic. And those people should be kicked out of the Labour Party because that's disgusting. The point being, Carl buying into that ridiculous trope of the Labour Party being anti-Semitic shows you what a fucking hack dog turd he is.
Also, this isn't like a cancellation. Like when Mogg wrongly accused Soros of being the funder of Remain and did his little dog whistle or wink over to the far right people like, hey, we're down with you. Like we get where the problem is. That whatever Labour's problem is doesn't have anything to do with what Mogg did. And he wants to say it's classic Soviet whataboutism. This is a tactic the Soviets used whenever people would bring up human rights violations from the West. It would be, well, what about in the America, you guys are killing black people. What about? And this is what Carl is doing. He's doing Soviet whataboutism.
Yeah, it's even if the Labour Party were the most rabidly anti-Semitic party ever, which obviously isn't true, and the Tories need to be investigated for their Islamophobia problem, by the way. But even so, even if they were, that wouldn't make what Jacob Rees-Mogg did any less anti-Semitic, or indeed any more. It has no bearing.
They're completely independent events. They are unrelated.
Yeah.
The only thing that they're in common is that they're charges made against parties.
Yeah, indeed. Ironically, given that Carl just accused someone else of obfuscation, that's literally what he just did.
Mr. Horse Manure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see where he goes now. This will be entertaining, I'm sure.
You have enough of that in your own backyard, don't you?
Whataboutism?
And the thing is, we do know where money comes from for the Remain campaign. They have to declare it. The biggest individual donor is Lord Salisbury, who's donated over £4 million. Man of the people.
Yeah. So George Soros is the quote-unquote, is funding the Remain campaign, but yet with £800,000, but yet there's one dude here who gave over £4 million.
Yeah. Yes.
So he's not the Remain contributor in chief.
No, he's not.
You
funding.
and Jacob Rees-Mogg are liars.
Yep.
Which you've just proven in your own video, you daft bastard.
Yep. You've just undermined, this screenshot undermines this title.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Ridiculous. And that's one dude. He scrolls down. There are others who have also given over £1 million or £2 million. So a drop in the 800,000 is a drop in the bucket.
Yes. When people are piling on millions. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I'll hit play.
Lord Salisbury, net worth 560 million. People who want Brexit, probably not worth all that much.
So what is this wait, how can you be pro-capitalism and populist? Like, you're for protecting the structures of wealth, but you're also against it because you're for the little guy? What?
Yeah, Carl, considering you support the supposedly multi-billionaire Donald Trump, where the fuck do you get off criticizing someone who only has 500 million?
Yeah. And,
like, by comparison, he's a pauper.
But, when it's people who fund the left who are rich, then we mock them for their wealth.
Well, they're not even funding the left as such.
Yeah,
there are lots of right-wing people who are happy, who Remain.
Good point.
Fuck's sake, the actual Conservative government at the time of the referendum campaigned to Remain. This is not a left-right thing necessarily at all.
No.
That's fundamentally the larger point going forward in British politics, is that there is a realignment taking place now based on Brexit. There's a social schism taking place based on Brexit, which is going to be a real problem going forward.
Yeah. Chris in the chat made a super chat donation. Thank you very much, Chris, saying populism and capitalism are not mutually exclusive. But I think it's more the demonization of the wealthy that I find odd about his pro-capitalist but anti-wealth perspective.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, I can't speak for Christy, but I didn't get the impression that that's what you were suggesting. I think I understood perfectly well where you were going with that, and it made sense.
Okay, well, we've had a clarification or a little discussion, and at least it gave us a break from Carl.
And $1.99.
Yes. Thank you. All right. So,
money.
hitting play.
Christy makes it fucking rain.
This guy clearly.
Get on that pole, Kevin. Ding, ding, ding. Are you grinding yet?
I've never been off the pole.
All right, sorry. You
talk like I'm not on the pole, please.
Your ass cheeks are like wedged. That silver pole is
exactly.
polished.
Exactly.
From the area.
My ass cheeks are like a fucking dick guillotine. Boom.
Ow. Yikes! Warning sign. You better tattoo that to the back on your ass. Where you get your little tramp stamp, like warning. Ass cheeks strong enough to, would you call it a cock guillotine?
I did call it that.
All right, hashtag cock guillotine. Don't make that into a hashtag. Actually do, that'd be funny. All right, hitting play.
Yeah, totally do. That's amazing. Cock guillotine.
Now you're going to be
Make
torn.
it happen.
All right, you have to put hashtag lime green dildo cast, hashtag cock guillotine in your video headline or your description now.
I'm not getting remonetized ever.
Never.
Ever have.
So we appreciate the super chats. All right. I'll find a way to give. I'll buy Kevin a beer one of these days, or I'll send him like an Amazon gift card. I don't know, something like that. All right.
No, it's just put it towards the money I owe you for the podcast.
Yeah, you haven't paid me in like 6 months, so I'm going to. Yeah. But I haven't asked you for it, to be fair. So.
Well, yeah, because I've got the memory of a goldfish who's taken lots and lots of drugs.
Yes.
So
someone put some opium in the water, and the goldfish is like, ooh.
Exactly.
I am one with the moment.
I'm not a goldfish. I'm a brownfish. Oh yeah.
What's a brownfish?
Actually, that sounds a bit rude.
That's a sporting reference. No,
brown as in heroin. Never mind.
Oh, okay. That's, I guess, pretty local. Colloquialisms.
Yes, it probably is. Yeah. I should have thought about a smackfish.
That's our international
That's
show.
That's probably a real thing, though.
A smackfish? Yeah. If it isn't, it should be.
A smackfish. I didn't come up with when I was doing my research.
Wait, is that what hits Carl in the face at political protests?
Also, if you notice Carl's face there, it looks decidedly Ian Miles Chong.
He just looks like an angry squirrel.
Well, he's certainly storing nuts in his cheeks. Hey!
I'll put you on top of him, Kevin. Because, I said you weren't going to...
That's what he wants. That's what he wants. You're playing into his game, Krista.
There you go.
He wants my D up in him.
Yes. An angry squirrel. There you go. Or a gopher. Okay. That was fun. I'm going to hit play now. You still there, Kev?
I am still here.
Oh, okay. You went
absolutely
suspiciously quiet, like something happened on the telly that was more important than our live show.
I've been watching football all the way through this.
As you do with most of our shows.
You know.
I'm trying to run all the audio and you're like got the footy on in the background.
Oh no, well no, this is American pigskin
Oh,
gridiron football.
oh, who's playing?
Well, I've got the red zone on. I was watching the game from London, the Tottenham Stadium game, which was quite good. But now I've got the red zone on,
Right. So
which
you got
is
them all.
yeah.
Any particularly exciting ones you want to mention?
The
the Pack do?
Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers have gone to overtime. 23 apiece.
There you go.
Yeah.
How'd the Pack do?
Oh shit! I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. Are they a later game? Possibly. I'm not sure.
Maybe, or they might play Thursday. I don't know their schedule. Okay, so with that little sports distraction, we're gonna get back to Carl, Mr. Angry Squirrel Face, rape tweet guy, horse manure masturbator. Okay.
He knows better.
A lot of people are
He's
saying
money to make it seem like he knows better. And then you've got $1 million donating from people, £1 million donations from like David Harding, Mike Gooley. You can see it's
millions.
It's very wealthy people who are backing the Remain campaign. It's like, why?
And it was very, very
Why
wealthy
would the
people
British
who
public?
backed the Leave campaign.
Yeah.
Carl, it costs a lot of money to run national campaigns in big-ass countries. And okay, we're not geographically big, but there's a lot of people, and it's expensive to buy, like, you know, adverts and shit. So, yeah, it takes a lot of money. But again, Carl, you're an uber capitalist, mate. You don't get to lick the boot and criticise.
You want to know who the 21 biggest donor to the Leave campaign
I
were?
do want to know who these people are, and I want to see that they're total, you know, men and women of the people, obviously.
I like that my German Google offers to translate my English into German for me. That's very nice.
That's cultural imperialism, Germany. Back up. Stay in your fucking lane.
All right, so let's see. Received a total of 24.4 million in donations and loans. 14.9 of that sum came from 5 of the nation's richest businessmen, including...
Apparently, didn't Carl literally just say, the people who back Remain probably don't have a lot of money?
Yet 5 of them alone were able to come up with almost 3 million apiece.
Jesus.
For 14.9 million.
Yeah.
My maths are right?
Yeah. So you can fuck off, Carl. You're full of shit, mate.
Yep. Like 3 million. Okay, I gotta minimize my window. There we go. Back to the twat.
Care what these people want. Oh, Goldman Sachs traders. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? You know,
that's
it's
another
weird.
anti-Semitic trope. Well,
Yep. Why are you picking on Goldman Sachs, man? Why it always gotta be
also,
Jewish?
Yeah, not just that, but Carl, you know the Goldman Sachs thing? I believe I'm right in saying, the only original member from Trump's first cabinet that's still there is Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah.
Well, possibly Betsy DeVos as well. But Steve Mnuchin, who was a Goldman Sachs executive all of his adult life until he went into government.
But Goldman Sachs.
Are Goldman Sachs good or bad, Carl? Again, choose, please. You can't flip-flop like this. It's ridiculous.
Now he looks like a squirrel who's just woken up and is slack-jawed.
Yeah.
Sorry, deciding what squirrel face Carl says is my new kink.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm not going to shame you.
Oh, thanks. All right, here we go.
How the Remainers have found themselves on the side of the international elite billionaire banking class.
Oh, there we go.
Carl.
Dog whistle.
How are you on the class of these billionaires that have been funding the Leave campaign?
Yep.
It's almost as if very rich people get to decide all of these things, and that's bad, regardless.
But only.
Oh no, but it's only
money
bad
is
when
bad.
they're against you.
Yeah.
You fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, millionaires who agree with him are patriots.
Indeed.
They're just helping the common people get a voice, Kevin.
Whereas, bizarrely, the billionaires who disagree with him are communists.
Of course. Oh, now he looks like a sleepy squirrel.
Well, yeah, because it's good. Oh, I'm feeling very sleepy. Gonna have to go now.
Yeah, he has to go now. He's very sleepy. So you guys who are new to the show, you might not remember, but yeah, that was a callback to like the Krautgate days.
Yeah. That's one of the things Carl likes to do when he's losing the argument. Oh, I'm very tired. It's very sleepy. Yeah, Carl, it's 2 p.m. Yeah, I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I
very
keep
sleepy.
weird hours. Yeah, I gotta go now. Yes.
Yeah, bye. I know I turned up 10 minutes late because that's my entire power move. Because I'm a
Yes.
dick. But, whatever.
Yeah, he needed a tea and then a shit in his tea.
Yeah.
He was so scared he shat himself before coming on air. Tea to
Maybe he had
calm
a
his
cough,
nerves,
but
and then he
did
shat
his shit,
himself. Yeah. All right. Sleepy Squirrel speaks.
The financiers, they want to remain. They like the EU. They like the fact that it works bureaucratically.
You mean the city?
Yeah.
Like the biggest economic powerhouse in the South, who are all financiers. Because
Not just that, but there are
London
lots
is
of
a banking
financiers who-
international capital.
who back. Well, not just that, but as with all of these things, there are conflicting interests. So there are some who set to make money from leaving and some from remaining. That's why you've got very rich people, financiers, who want to leave as well, Carl.
But he's kind of leaving out the point that right now the UK has a special status with the EU where you don't have to do like a kind of currency transfer. You're sort of roped into the EU as a currency. Britain has a sort of special status.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's going to go away if you guys crash out. That's why people in finance might be interested in preserving the city's, EU advantage by staying within the E EU.
That's why, if we did leave, I wouldn't be for rejoining necessarily, because there'd be we'd lose a lot of those special interests. Like we'd have to have the euro, and we'd have to have Schengen and all that stuff.
Yep.
Which
Schengen's awesome. I love
no,
me some
but I'm
Schengen.
saying, but the British people wouldn't accept that. Is the point I'm making? So it would be I don't think we'd rejoin, but I think staying under our current guise, where we've got sort of the best of both worlds, works. But anyway,
Yeah, we'll see.
And it would annoy Carl enormously. So again,
Yes, root for whatever annoys
imagine
Carl.
Oh God, the flood of Leaver tears, the flood of Brextremist tears. Nigel Farage will go nuclear. No, fucking prick face here, very very sleepy will go nuclear. Their tears will sustain me for years. I'll never need to buy a drink again.
Yep, it'll be salty. I'll have to really moisturize.
Very, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that would be funny. Okay, hitting play.
Like the fact that it's a giant international bloc and allows them to move money across multiple countries. They like the fact that this is the way things are going. Remainers are in agreement with Goldman Sachs. And
Just because you share a common political goal doesn't mean you adopt all of your allies' positions. People come at different political goals from a lot of different perspectives. So he's just trying to conflate the left with the banking interests.
Yeah, exactly. Because Carl, if you want to go down that line, mate, the Nazis, the British Nazis, they wanted to leave. So you're a Nazi now. Do you see how being dishonest, Carl, leads you to becoming a Nazi?
It's your fault.
So maybe don't be a dishonest piece of garbage. Maybe.
Oh, wait, but that's how he makes his money.
Indeed.
It's how he affords all that horse manure.
Yes.
The stable. He was working his way up to an actual horse. That's why he moved out to the country.
Yeah.
Out in Swindon.
In Swindon, yeah. Good gallops in Swindon.
That's what Liz said.
And George Soros and other international banking interests in this regard. The Brexiteers, those racists, are not.
Yes.
Let's
No, they are, Carl.
Yeah.
Literally just, okay, you didn't necessarily see us doing this before you did your video, but we just showed you and everyone else that actually there are lots and lots of very rich people who supported Leave. And you know that because Aaron Banks and Dyson and the Weatherspoons guy are all multi-millionaires who put millions of pounds
to
into
Weatherspoons. He went to Weatherspoons for all of his political events.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a dive bar now because they stank it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a decidedly fishy smell after they left.
Yes.
I don't know why.
And horse manure. He must have been so excited when they dumped it out in front of him.
When he got horse
Yeah,
shitted.
it was a delivery.
That time. He was like, it was a delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his Amazon
Yeah.
package.
They just geolocated him on his phones because he carries big ass walkie talkies in his pockets. Oh, I'm just doing all kinds of callbacks.
It's callback-a-palooza.
It is. Well, getting Carl on, it just begs for it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days. Oh, they weren't that good, but I do remember the laughs.
No.
Okay. All right, hitting play.
Really something that I think Remainers should think about when considering their own position. Why am I in agreement with Goldman Sachs?
Why are you in agreement with Richard Spencer or Tommy or other people like Alex Jones? Carl, have you wondered that?
Why are you in agreement with and sat there having nice chummy conversations with gay frogs, man?
Yep.
Because that's not just having one incidental political agreement on a thing. That's you literally aligning yourself with the people.
Now he looks like a squirrel who's seen a nut up in a tree.
Yeah. That's a squirrel who sees an opportunity right there.
Right there, he's looking at it with longing. I see that nut. Yeah. That's going to go in my belly.
Oh, that was really hot.
Okay, hitting play.
Why am I in agreement with all of the giant international financiers? These people who end up causing financial crashes.
Not all, Carl, you hack. Not all. Some.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why are you siding with those millionaires who
Exactly,
then move their businesses out of Britain?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because they want that all the benefits of Europe or fucking everyone over, yeah.
Yep. Have you asked yourself why you're siding with him? Ooh.
What?
Now he looks like a squirrel who's about to suck a dick.
Oh, there's a lot of teeth going on there. That's a danger one. That's a danger, DJ.
I said getting ready. I said getting ready.
No, but I'm just thinking about the practicalities of getting noshed off by a squirrel.
Oh, I see.
That's going to be dangerous. That's a nibbly one. Jesus.
I thought you were worried about Carl's teeth. You were just thinking ahead.
No, because I'm never going to give in to you, no matter how much you fucking thirst post me, Carl.
Or
it's
how
not
much
happening.
cologne you put on to hide the horse manure scent. Can't get it off.
Yeah. No, maybe leave the horse
People
manure
say-
on. It's got pheromones. It's got
Lots of-
pheromones in it.
Yeah, lots of people say there are pheromones in the horse manure.
Well, I heard it was Rick Perry saying that the
Yeah,
other day.
I'm pretty sure he knows about
You're right.
horses.
Yeah,
He's from Texas. He's probably a connoisseur. All right.
exactly.
Horse
There are
apples.
two types of people in Texas: steers and queers, or something.
Yeah.
That's from a movie.
Yeah.
It's probably very homophobic.
Very homophobic. Yeah, quite. All right, moving on.
Why do I agree with them? Because if you think about it a bit, you might think, well,
Fascist, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you agree with a guy who's on record denying the or questioning the Holocaust? I'm just asking questions that I didn't look up. I could.
Yeah, why are
find
you
out
in
I'm
league
wrong.
with the 9/11 truthers, Carl?
Yeah.
Hang on there, mate. Why are you in league with QAnon?
Oh, now he looks like a squirrel who's taking a dump.
Yeah. Well, he got the nut from up in the tree.
Yeah,
and it was
he ate
nice
it.
and everything, but I mean, what goes in's got to come out.
Yeah. So now he's squatting. Okay.
So it's a story as old as time itself. Squirrels taking a shit.
I'm gonna hit play.
We're sober.
don't we have a duty to oppose what they're trying to do? Is it a good thing for the regular person to tear down the borders of a nation? I mean,
So you want to oppose people's free speech?
Yeah.
Those people should shut up.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently it's opposed. You can oppose whatever you like, Carl, but you can't say that, like, these people shouldn't be allowed to do their thing.
Yeah.
Because they're
which is what
literally
he's
entitled
saying.
to do their thing.
Yeah.
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 Because, again, they don't want free speech. They want consequence-free speech.
Yep. For their bigoted agenda.
I mean, these people will never be saddled with the consequences. These people will get on their private jets and go to their
Dyson.
private islands to get away from the problems.
What was the first one? Ash? Someone? Oh, no, Andy? No, Aaron. Aaron Banks. What does he do?
Aaron Banks, yeah. What is he? What's all right?
What's he do?
Some sort of... Yeah, he's a financier, I believe.
Yeah.
Some sort of banker chap, yeah.
Yeah, buddy of Nigel
And also,
Farage.
You're going about not facing the consequences, Carl. Jacob Rees-Mogg, the guy whose dick you're sucking in this video, he literally moved his hedge fund, Somerset Capital, to Dublin, so it will remain inside the EU, so that he can take advantage of all of those freedoms, whilst fucking over the people of Britain.
You won't be able to do that, will you, Carl? So why are you siding with them?
Yeah, it's almost like you're actually the useful idiot you accuse others of. Again, it's very Trumpian.
Yeah.
Accuse everyone of things you are guilty of.
Yep, precisely.
You guys are stuck with them. So you're not going anywhere, are you? You've got no choice but to stay in this place, because you can't afford to fly somewhere. You can't afford to get away, just like they can. So what are you going to do? Are you going to carry on saying, well, I mean, you know, the richest and most powerful people in the world told me this was a good thing.
Again, a lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, you're the useful idiots for billionaires, Carl.
Yes. Yeah. Now he looks like a confused squirrel.
But you'll get a blue passport, Carl. You'll get a blue passport, you fucking idiot.
There you go. You'll destroy the economy, but hey. Blue
The
passport.
fact that you'll have to get a visa to travel anywhere
Yeah.
is irrelevant, apparently.
You won't be going to Spain on holiday anymore. Okay.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to think for myself. And so I just accept it on the face of it. That
Wow, he really knows how to straw man.
Mm.
God, he's so useless. He can't go up against real people.
No.
Not in an actual debate. Just internet sports, blood sports.
this
He
is
can't seem to go up against himself. He debunked himself in this video.
Yes, and
And he left that image up of the guy literally with the number 4 million below him for like 2 minutes.
And he didn't look at all at the Leave campaign, of course.
No, why would you?
Yeah.
That would be honest.
All right, so there's like 20 seconds left. Oh my gosh, we actually finished this.
good thing. And you're a dog whistling anti-Semite if you disagree. Just so you know, you bloody racist. Do you ever feel like you are being controlled by the international class of rich, powerful businessmen who don't care about you at all?
That would be Nigel Farage and his friends, right?
Yeah.
His previous hero.
Because I'm telling you, you absolutely are. So in Parliament...
Ugh, what a weirdo.
He's so unaware. That last sentence was literally about him. Or
Yeah.
could have been about him.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Packers have just kicked off against the Cowboys.
Oh,
0-0.
yeah. Yeah, beat the Cowboys. Good.
Yes,
Definitely.
indeed. I'll always support a Canadian team against the Cowboys.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's Canada's team versus America's team.
And since I messed it up at the start, yeah, Canada's team against America's team. Technically, the Twin
thank
Cities
God.
are farther north than Green Bay.
Yeah.
They're more Canadian than
Well,
you
yeah, they're
are.
both Canadian as well, yeah. I hate the fact that they call they're not America's team. Fuck off, Texas, you cunts.
I know.
Sorry.
But yes,
Anyway.
since I messed it up at the start, just want to do a proper shout out to friend of the show, Cog, who just put out a video, which is also a response to Sargon. But this one,
Okay, let's watch it like we didn't watch it the first time.
You want to start from the beginning? He actually does some really cool editing in this. His sound is a
No,
bit.
what do you mean
shite.
start from the beginning? It's 24 minutes long. We've been going an hour and a half.
No,
Just
no,
show
no,
the
no.
fucking dancing.
Oh, just the dancing. Okay, we're gonna go skip to the end. We're gonna do the dancing. All right, I guess about there. Because
This
remember,
motherfucker
now,
is stealing my shapes.
so okay, you have to imagine if you take Cog and you put on a brown wig and a big beard, Kevin claims.
And he puts on about 8 stone.
But now I want to see video of you doing these moves that you claim that you're doing.
I don't think I own a trilby.
I bet at
I could do
Halloween
it with a
you could borrow
fez.
one.
I've got a fez. Or
Okay.
should I say I know a bear who owns a fez?
I think a fez would be a perfectly acceptable alternative. Do you have a tie?
Do I have it? No, I'm a pauper. I don't own a top.
So there you go. It's going to be the big dance-off now. We've got the Cog moves. Now we gotta
I'll be
see-
honest, I'd fuck him.
There you go. You've got an offer on the table, Cog.
Just to make, well, if for no other reason, to make old rape tweet guy jealous.
Oh, yes. Because then you could see, here's a guy who could get the D. And Carl never will. And then Carl will be sad. Oh, it's starting again.
Yeah, so go and watch the dancing.
Yeah,
I mean,
just the
watch
dancing. Don't watch the
the
video.
rest of the video as well, but the dancing.
You have to stay
Go
to
for the
end.
political commentary. Stay for the dancing.
Yep. And then just picture Kevin's hair and beard.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Hang on, I don't have alleged hair and beard. They're real.
No, I'm talking about the dance moves. I'm still not
Are
convinced.
you depersoning my hair and beard? How dare you?
No, your dance moves. I'm challenging their existence.
You're challenging my dance moves' existence?
Yeah.
Them's fine words.
Yeah, I know. You got a camera. You got a Twitter. Let's see them.
I do, but
Again,
I've done silly singing on things.
Yeah. Da-da. Da-da.
Yeah. That was an oh god, we really are going old school tonight.
Well, we've been on YouTube for going up on 4 years, so that makes us basically old age pensioners by YouTube standards.
Yeah, basically.
Well, Carl is a Muppet. Actually, Muppets are cute.
Muppets are cute and funny.
He's a squirrel that looks like he's taking a dump.
Whereas ironically, he's not half bad. He's all bad.
Yes. And we have to find out if he's going to run for office again, because that would be, well, I don't know, traumatizing, probably. Hilarious, definitely.
We have to up the size of the fish gradually.
Up the size of the fish?
Yeah, like kippers, that was a good start. But I feel like by the end of the campaign, can we get someone to throw a full-sized bass at his face?
A big mouth bass.
Yeah, like a big fucking, like a one that could probably give you a mild concussion.
It's coming right for us. Yeah, bass are the new milkshakes.
Wow, that sentence could not be more 2019.
Well, I think that's the end of the happy. How long have we been going? Oh, 1 hour and 40.
The Lime Green Dildo Cast.
The Lime Green Dildo Cast, but that's the secret name of this episode. So those of you, only the people who watch know the real name of this episode. Anything you want to plug? Or anyone, Kevin, before we go?
Yeah, my cock guillotine.
You want to plug your cock guillotine. Yes, so maybe you can take your ass off the pole now and just sit down and watch some football.
No, Vladimir isn't finished yet.
I've got nothing. I've got to find time to make videos.
Well, after he's done, if you want sloppy seconds.
Oh, thanks.
Oh God, Kev.
What are you gonna take my finger off?
Yeah, why not? You got 9 more. You don't need all of them.
Yeah, I mean, something will happen ridiculous, and we'll do another happy hour, or I will do a live stream.
Yeah, or the world will come to an end.
Yeah, something will happen. So that's why you should go watch other great creators on YouTube and fill your time before we do something again.
Like PewDiePie, who's awesome. Oh no, sorry, he's still on art. So
unsubscribe to PewDiePie.
And subscribe to T-Series just to annoy him. I mean, I don't even know what T-Series really do, but just subscribe to T-Series so that he never gets back to #1.
Yeah. Yes.
That would be amazing.
A spite subscription. But I think they'll take it.
I do. I am. I'm spite subscribed to them. I've never watched a single fucking video. It's not the point.
Just feel virtuous every time they come through your feed. Like, oh, okay, I'm fucking over PewDiePie. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
All right, well, this was fun, Kevin.
In fact, I've got 110 million sock accounts. I don't want to go into it.
And you just subscribed all the way down. It took a whole afternoon. That sounds like something a Sargon
it's my life's work.
That's sad. All right, well, thank you to everyone in the chat for stopping by. And sorry for the technical problems earlier on. But you got to hear the Creative Commons music twice. So,
yes.
And yeah, until next time, goodbye from me and goodbye from Kevin. Say goodbye, Kev.
Goodbye, Kev.
Hey, we kept it simple tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.